we're going to go over how to get this thing set up. This is what's in the box. We've got your dust cover, stacking spindle, manual spindle, cartridge head shell, counterweight, record player. Check that for damage. I'm going to have this insured. If there's any kind of major bends, breaks, or if this thing, God forbid, shatters in transit, let me know. I'm going to have insurance on this stuff, and we'll see what we can do as far as getting a replacement piece or some sort of partial reimbursement from an insurance claim from the Postal Service. So after you do your inspection, go ahead and hook this up to your preamp. This is your grounding wire. That goes to your preamp. Your RCA outputs are underneath the table and around this general vicinity. You'll see them as soon as you turn the table over. Just standard left-right RCA inputs or outputs. RCA jacks are under there. After you get it hooked up, these are transit screws. There's one right here in the upper left-hand corner. There's one right here by the tone arm. They're going to be fully extended. Those things keep this from bouncing, and so that's going to be locked down, so it doesn't bounce around while it's in transit. Once you got the screws down, next we're going to bounce the tone arm. So you're going to add your head shell. There's a little notch right there. Goes right in right there. There's also a little notch on that retaining nut. You just tighten that hand tight. And next you're going to take your counterweight. And you're going to slide it on the end. And now you're going to try and get this thing balanced. So you're going to move it off of the tone arm rest, and then you're going to adjust this counterweight to where this is going to be parallel. You want it as close to parallel with the deck as possible. I'm going to pause this and adjust this a little bit further because it's just a little bit higher on the head shell end than I particularly care for. This may take a little bit to get it to right where you want it, but essentially as close to parallel with the platter as you can get it. Okay, once you get it to where you like it, that's pretty close to parallel. You're going to, lock, move this out of the way. You are going to tighten that up so that way the counterweight doesn't move. And now you're going to set the tracking force. So this little silver knob right here, loosen it up. We're going to lock this down right quick. Loosen it up and adjust it so to set the right tracking weight for the stylus. This stylus is supposed to be for this stylus. The recommended tracking pressure for this stylus is anywhere between 1.5 to 3 grams. Now, as you've taken the head shell out, you'll notice that the cartridge has a brush to it, which is a neat little feature. It takes the dirt out of dirt and hairs and whatever, that it cleans the groove out before the needle gets in there. But because that brush is there, I tend to set this specific stylus to the little bit of the heavier side. And so this second dot should be pre-marked to about somewhere close to about 3 grams. So let's see, is that right on there? Nope. Let's move that just a little bit further. Yep, 2.75. So we're in a pretty good spot there. I would highly recommend getting one of these digital scales. I picked this up off of Amazon for about, I don't know, $10 to $12. It's been a minute, but it definitely helps when setting these, setting the appropriate weight for these styluses. If you want to change this cartridge out, this head shell will take any half-inch cartridge. But if you change the cartridge out, you will have to rebalance the tone arm and then set the tracking weight all over again. And if that's the case, you'll want to ignore these marks. I made these just so you won't have any problems getting this thing set up on day one. So we've got that set up. Next, we're going to go over the manual spindle and the stacking spindle. So this little this little spindle, the manual spindle, this little flat part just slides right in there towards the little on-off switch part right there. And manual is as it says. You just turn it on to the manual setting right there, lift it up, put it over, and you're off to the races. Now, from here, What the manual setting does, what this record player will do, will depend on where this is positioned. If it's off to the side like it is right here, then when this hits the inside, hits this dead spot, it will go up and over, and it will start all over again. Now, if this is down, if that's down, then what it will do is when it hits, it'll come over and set down and turn off. And now we'll go over the stacking spindle. So the stacking spindle, pretty simple. It just slides right in there. This flat part down here goes towards the on-off switch, and this lip right here goes towards this upper right-hand corner. And you just put it in the little center there, and you just push down to your heel click. So you put the record on that little lip as best you can, and you can stack about 2, 3, maybe even 4 of these. The old service manual says you can do like 6, but that was back in the 60s, and the records were a hell of a lot thinner back then. This is about 180 grams right here, so if I were to use the stacking feature with 180 grams, I probably wouldn't do more than 1 or 2. I've done 3 and 4 180 grams, and what that has done is slowed it down considerably. So yeah, you load it down, you move this arm, this stabilizing arm over, that goes down, and then you just put it to auto, and then what should happen, it should drop down. Yep, drop down. Now, if you were to stack, if you had another record stacked, then when this reaches that dead wax, that inner ring right there, it would go up, come over, the second record would drop down on top of it, and then play that one until it hits the last record, and then when it hits the last record, when it hits that inner groove right there, we'll just cheat this along right quick. It'll come up. This is actually a good thing. What's supposed to happen is it is supposed to go down here and turn off. But since it went back over there, something's gotten out of whack. So a quick little fix for this. This may actually be relevant. Something may shift during transit. So when it does that, then something's out of whack. And so you just need to do a reset where you turn it to manual. First off, you lock it down. Let it do its automatic thing. All right, so that should have fixed it. So we'll just see. And so now it should up and over, down, turn off. Yep. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Oh, one last thing. If you do use the stacking spindle, instead of lifting the records up, just go ahead and pull that out and then take your records off. Hell of a lot easier than trying to slide them back up over. Anyways, yeah, that's your new record player. I've enjoyed this rascal for a couple of years now. I've, done a lot of maintenance on this thing, and hopefully y'all enjoy this for as long or longer than I did. If you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you all out if this thing acts up. So, yeah, enjoy. Happy listening.